I mean, I guess the main question is, was this high road rider on your radar? I mean, it seems like maybe caught you and Slipstream by surprise.
Sure, you could say that. I mean, you know, if you look back at the beginning of the day, there were a few names to consider. Siatsu, Sevilla. Yeah, Sevilla was down a little bit on time, but it's hard to predict who's going to be strong. You could see from yesterday this kid was strong, and you know, I think that you know, looking back, was a little bit overconfident, and all I can say is Trent rode great, Slipstream rode great, and High Road, you know, and Siatsu took advantage of the battle that was going on, and everybody rode a really great bike race, I got to say, and you know, I think I made some mistakes, but it was a really tough call because you know, Chechu was going to get caught. He was going to get caught, and I was feeling good, and we still had Chris and Tony, and I thought if we make it hard at the bottom, these guys, my two teammates, could crack everyone for me, and unfortunately, I felt strong, but I think Trent and especially Siatsu were also very strong. So that's just bike racing.
I mean, was there a moment on the climb when, you know, you're thinking, okay, Siatsu's going for the stage win? Is there a moment when it hits that he's going for the GC as well? And
oh, definitely. You know, I gauged my effort. I know the climb. The first steep part, I went and I was able to get rid of everyone except for Trent and Siatsu, and then I was relaxed until the final kilometer, which, you know, everybody's it's legendary, the last kilometer of Brasstown Bald, and I kept telling myself that's where it's going to happen, and I'm going to give it everything. And Sevilla led into it really quickly, and I just came off his wheel, and I went for it, and you know, I gave it a good 400 meters, and when I sat down, he went, and then it's, you know, moments like that, it's obvious that he's the strongest guy, and there was a moment where, you know, I let the gap go a little bit. I waited to see what Trent would do, and I gave it one really big acceleration to try to get rid of Trent and get back up to him, and Trent stayed on my wheel, and Siatsu was still going strong, so then, you know, I have to sit up and see what Trent's going to do. He's got the lead. It's his to lose, and he never came around me. So I think everybody was at their limit, and we all did our best, and the strongest man won, definitely. I mean, I got beat straight up. So.
But do you think Trent knew the danger that was to the GC?
I don't think so, because, you know, he was obviously, you know, at the end he sprinted, so he had something, and I was pretty surprised that he let him go. I don't think he realized how close it was. I mean, I knew that High Road was only just behind us in the team time trial, and that was the only gap so far. I mean, Siatsu was in the front group yesterday, if I'm correct. So.
You were 4, he was 6, basically.
Yeah.
At that point when there were 3 guys on the road.
Exactly, and you know, it looked like he was just in front of us, but it's deceiving. It's steep, and I know that that's a big time gap, and I was a little surprised that Trent wasn't going, or someone wasn't in the radio telling him to go. But you know, I don't want to be clear. I don't want to knock Slipstream, because I mean, I have to say, for them today, they sacrificed everybody. It was a little strange how they were attacking on that hog pen. You know, when that was going on, I thought, whoa, this is crazy, because they're blowing up their team. But in the end, they put everyone on the front. They rode for one guy. That guy, he came through, you know. Not to knock him, but Siatsu was the strongest guy. And I think maybe Trent was a little bit on the limit. Wasn't thinking clearly, and it's you know, I wasn't either. It's hard to think clearly on such a steep climb when you're at your limit, and you know, it's bike racing. It's what makes it exciting.
Prior to this, what was the last conversation you had with anyone about Siatsu?
Oh, Ekimov said when the race started, he's watched this guy.
Okay.
And then he was, you know, he's doing some work in the first couple of stages. I was like, he's working. His head's not in it, you know. But then yesterday in the final, he was on top of all the attacks, and you could see, like, oh, he's got some strength. But, you know, I figured experience, knowing the climb, confidence was gonna top his youthful strength, but it wasn't enough.
So was it a case of being surprised or not being surprised? If you can condense all of what you said, were you guys still surprised that he was there? I mean,
Well,
You've got more experience than either
yeah.
of those two guys by a number of
he's,
years.
he's obviously a very big talent. I think he's under 23 world champion, and
Yeah.
was it Verona?
Yeah.
So I don't know his results. I think maybe this is his biggest win to date. So it's, sometimes people have to make that step, and he made that step today. So yes, a surprise. Yeah, and it's hard to say yes and no.
Okay.
He's young. Young riders develop. Same with Trent. I think he's made a big step today.